I had a massive cyber mob come after me, and they have still been after me for the last 5 years. And I think intersectionality is a really important point here, because the way that women of color and the way that trans women and the way women with disabilities get attacked online is different, and it's compounded by all of these different intersections. Yeah, and so I think it's a conversation that needs to keep happening, right? If you Google my name on YouTube, you get shitheads like this dude who are making these dumbass videos that just say the same shit over and over again. I need to give you attention because you're a garbage human. Whatever, dude. But it's, you know, like the fact that these dudes are making endless videos that just go after every feminist over and over and over again, I think is a part of the issue of why we have to have these conversations. We don't just get to be online. We don't just get to participate like everyone else.
This is weird because my whole message is just be yourself, but apparently like it's not safe for everyone to do that all the time. So I think probably my advice would be stay safe first and then be yourself. Right?
I have a serious question for everybody up there. Why do you guys act like only women face harassment online?
I don't think
Constantly feed the troll. And look, the majority of the people here are your trolls because they like to see you freak out about it, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're feeding
I mean, even
trolls.
your language, like freak out about, like no.
See, you're just mocking me.
If you're talking about one community facing harassment, that's not to say that no other communities face any harassment.
See, you're harassing me right now when I'm.
Can we please remove this question of
Now look.
That's right. How dare you say we're freaking out? How dare you use such language? How dare you get him out of here? Get him out now! Caution, gang, this is your front row seat in the collision between feminism and logic. Enter if you dare. I'm Dr. Steve. Make sure to like and subscribe, strap yourselves in, and let's have some fun.
It happened the day before.
Okay, I think some of the things that you guys are touching on, such as the court system and gender roles, are a subject of patriarchy, and that's part of what women are trying to dismantle, is those traditional gender roles.
Are there any feminist organizations that have done anything, for example, to challenge bias against men and fathers in the family court system?
Absolutely.
Can you please give me a list of feminist advocacy organizations that have engaged in any meaningful advocacy to address those issues? Because there are actually none.
Okay. I know that you came with your little research or whatever. I didn't come with a list of feminist organizations, but I know actively that there are women's organizations that are trying to dismantle those inequalities.
Just one name, just one
Again, I
organization.
didn't come with a list, my dude.
There are no such organizations.
Come on, guys, I didn't come up with a list. What am I, an accountant? No one told me I needed a list. Who told me I need a list? Just take my word for it. There were tons, lots of feminist organizations that care deeply about men's issues. I just can't name a single one, but they're so obvious, so shut up and listen to me talk about male privilege. Here's a feminist who's about to have an interview that she'll never forget.
How do you feel about men? Do you resent men?
No.
What's your impression of men?
Depends on the man. I mean, I don't know. Men is just such a large group of people that.
So what is your impression of man?
Of which one?
The ones you know. How do you see men?
I don't know. In a sexual way?
What is a man?
What is a man? Man is an identity that someone can identify as.
Man is an identity that someone can identify as? What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know how to define man other than that, really.
Did you know before now that you really didn't know what a man was?
Well, I'm not a man. How am I supposed to know what it is or what it feels like?
What is a woman?
Same thing.
What?
Woman is an identity you can identify as.
So did you know before today you didn't know what a woman was either?
I guess I didn't.
So did you know that prior to now that you did not know what a woman was?
Oh, God. I don't know. I guess I could sit and think about a definition. I don't know, because it's difficult because you want to be inclusive of trans people and non-binary people, so I can't just be like, being a woman is these primary sex characteristics or secondary sex characteristics or your chromosomes or whatever. I think it's a mix of all of those things, and it's also a mix of who you feel or what you feel like you are. So being a woman and being a man and being neither or both is different. It's such a different experience for everyone. And I am...
Look at his face! Look at him trying to find any semblance of coherence to what she's saying.
So cisgender. I've always felt like I am a woman and I want to be more womanly and like all of these things. So it's hard for me to imagine what it would feel like to not be a woman. So I'm just like, I mean, it just feels this way. I have no idea.
It's hard for you to say what a woman is because you don't want to offend the people who are confused about their sexual identity.
It's not that I don't want to offend them, it's that I want to include them because they are a part, they're a part of the conversation about, did you just say trans people are messed up?
Yeah, they're like abnormal. You know, like they've been traumatized. Why would you not identify what a real woman is because people who are confused about who they are might be offended when you might be able to help them by really identifying what a woman is and what a man is, and they may think about it and overcome their traumas.
Did you just say real woman?
Right.
So you think that there are women that aren't real women?
Yes.
Okay, like what?
A lesbian.
A lesbian's not a
or
real
transgender.
woman.
Do you think men who take off the body parts and put on women body parts, you know, like breasts and all that, and put on dresses, are they women or are they still, are they women or are they still men?
Sorry, ask the question again?
You know how there are transgenders?
Uh-huh.
Let me do this. Transgenders now, and they're confused about their identity. So you heard of Bruce Jenner, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know Bruce is a man. Well, he took off the body part. Where you going?
I'm leaving.
Why are you leaving?
Because.
What?
Because what you're saying is extremely offensive and I'm not going to sit here for it.
Come and tell me why.
Nope.
You're running?
Yep.
But I thought you were open-minded.
Here's an Australian feminist that's about to get a lesson from Ronda Rousey in the logic of free market economics. Take a look.
Rhonda, Lauren down here from the Herald Sun again. Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Here's a belligerent woke college student who's about to get what is obviously her very first lesson in logical reasoning.
I just have a question for all of you. I guess what scholastic credibility do any of you have just coming from a place of having, been in college for a really long time and taking a bunch of environmental studies courses and knowing that, climate change is real and a big part of climate change is, the United States is, gluttonous, consumer-driven, abusive, exploitative lives. I've heard these things from...
and this is what you're being taught. This is called brainwashing, by the way. But anyway, you're being brainwashed. My
Somebody just disprove global warming. I just want to know who's disproved global warming. Because not the 98% of climate scientists I've heard talk about.
Okay, hang on. Let me answer. Let me answer that one. Okay, you're in college, so I'd say logic will work beautifully with you. If we say 98%, no, please, sweet, because actually, this point I really love doing. So
no, I can't take anything you said seriously because you said that washing machines were more liberating than the birth control pill. You don't know anything. You are the least credible human being I've ever encountered. I know that this is absurd.
I'm allowed an opinion.
I just can't help it.
I'm
sorry,
allowed an opinion.
but you're a goddamn idiot.
A goddamn idiot.
You are, and you're lying through your teeth.
Is this what you always say?
And how does it feel?
What am I lying about?
It feels good to tell the truth.
What am I lying about?
Africa? I've been to Africa.
What am I lying
You've
about?
been to Africa?
I haven't been to Africa, but that doesn't mean that I don't know
Oh, but
that.
how do you
No,
know?
the infant
No, she's allowed
mortality
to have an
rate
opinion
in
about
neighborhoods
Africa.
in Philadelphia are just as bad as places in Africa, all right?
Say again?
The infant mortality rate in black and brown communities, like in North Philadelphia, is just as high as in many places.
Okay,
in
that is
Africa.
factually inaccurate. But can I just do one point? Because I think it's worthwhile. Even though I've just been insulted, personally insulted, which I think is an extraordinary thing for intelligent people to do. If she was talking about academic background, that's not what an open-minded person does. But let's just look at what she said, because I think it's really worthwhile. So she said that 98% of scientists agree that global warming is a major problem, basically. That's what she said, 98% of scientists. Everyone in this room is going to college, so you're going to like the logic of this. If you say 98% of something, there must be 100%. So somewhere there must be a list. There must be a list of all the scientists that exist. My first challenge to this lady is to give me the list of every scientist that exists in America, in the world. Because if they do, that's how you can use the word 98%. If there isn't a definitive list, there is no such thing as 98%. Number one, logic. Number two, science does not proceed by consensus. Science is not democratic. At one time in history, it was the consensus that the Earth was flat. Everyone believed in that. Everyone agreed on that. One man said that that was not true. One person is true. The idea, anyone who says to you, the majority agree with it, so it's true, is not a scientist. I don't know what they are, but they're not a scientist. The laws of gravity do not get agreed by a consensus, by a vote, by a democracy. Science is not democratic. Science is about truth. One person can be correct. The person who quotes 98% of science is somebody who already knows they're losing. So they are using illogic. 98% of all scientists, unless you have an index of all scientists. Richard Lindzen, chair of atmospheric sciences at MIT, says we need to not worry about this. He was on the IPC, he resigned because of the fact that it was so unscientific. The list of scientists that I think is running to about 1,000 that I've seen a list of, who dissent with the other opinion. It grows all the time, but it doesn't really matter how big the list is. It doesn't matter. Because the truth is the truth, and it's not done by majority. We can't all vote in this room about the laws of physics and make it right. And I would like the lady who insulted me earlier to at least acknowledge my logic, at least acknowledge that logic, because she is obviously a highly educated person, although I question that. Anyone who needs to insult, anyone who needs to use ad hominem attacks against the speaker is someone who is obviously really shaky on their facts.
Anyone who would need to insult and use ad hominem attacks against the speaker is someone who's obviously really shaky on her facts. Gang, that's called game, set, match. Now that is what a professor really should sound like. And that's gonna wrap it up for us here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, always remember,
you're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children. Oh boy. Oh
I mean, I'm literally shaking.
You just said you're single. You don't have a boyfriend. You're what?
That's
you're celibate?
my choice.
Yeah, look, you're miserable. You would be so much happier with kids around you tonight. Imagine coming home, mommy's home.